In this video, I'm going to review the change events tool in Procore and the process in using a change event to start a change order for the owner and the different tools that it offers to price out with the subs. So I'm going to click on the change events tab at the top of the screen. So this is the first step that you use whenever you want to create a change order or a potential change order for the owner. So I'm going to click on Create Change Event, and then the new change event window comes open. So under Status, you want to set that as Open. The type, we're going to make it an owner change. For this example, we're going to be saying that the owner wants to add a window at the clubhouse. So under the title, you go ahead and title it. Under scope, it's going to be out of scope, which means it's outside of the contract or the original scope of work for KWA. The change reason, you can choose it. So in this case, it's client request. And it's going to be add window at room 125. So at this point, you don't need to attach any files. So under the scope estimate, you want to go ahead and enter in any of the applicable subcontractors that you know that will be pricing or need to price this change. So we're going to start off, and I'm going to just keep it simple for this example. Say the window supplier. So I'm going to just type in window and find my window cost code. The type is materials because it's a purchase order, and under description I'm going to add quantity 1 window at room 125. And under rough order of magnitude is just an idea of what you believe it should cost for that window. So the next step, we're going to add a new line. We're going to add in the framer, which is Rough Carpentry. I'm going to select their cost code. You choose the type, so you want the commitment, which would be your framer. And then you're going to add in their scope of work under the description, which would be demolition, installing the window, and so forth. You can add a rough order of magnitude of what you believe it will cost for that work. And then thirdly, let's add the painter. So I'm typing paint. Select the type as a commitment. Enter the description to paint, tape bed, and touch up the wall. And I believe that would be worth $600. Okay, at this point, you want to hit create to create your change event. So this is the change event summary window. So it gives you all the information, the current summary of where it's at in the pricing process. If a PCO has been issued off of this change event, and then if you use Procore for budget modifications or subcontractor or commitment change orders, everything's summarized here once you get further down in the process. Here's your current scope estimate given your rough order of magnitudes. So the best or the most useful feature within the change event tool is the request for quotes feature, and that keeps any of the pricing conversation and allows the subcontractors to submit pricing directly to Procore. It keeps it out of your inbox and makes it very easy. So the first step is I'm going to click on the Create RFQ button. So under the request details, you want to put in what just a general description of what you want to send to the subcontractors. So I'm just going to put in just a rough scope of the work that's included. Obviously, there would be more work and more subs involved, though just to keep it simple, I'm going to keep it for these three. If you wanted to attach files such as a photo or a plan showing the location, you can do that, and it will be included in the email sent to the sub. Under the commitment select section, so based on your rough order of magnitudes and the cost codes that you entered in the previous screen, it's going to automatically bring up your subcontractors. So we've set up a fake framing, painting, and window subcontractor for this example. You want to go over and make sure you select the person responsible for pricing that change from each sub. It'll automatically default to the person or people included in the company. So once you're done with that, I'm going to click on the Create RFQs button. So once you click on Create RFQs, it brings you back to the summary window. You scroll down under Request for Quotes. You can see the current status, the date initiated, the due date for pricing, and then an option to ping their email to resend the RFQ if you've not heard back from them. Also gives you the current status. Okay, for purposes of this example, you can see that the current status is out for pricing. I'll show you what it looks like on the subcontractor's end by opening up the Yahoo Mail account that we created for the window supplier. So they receive a email notification saying that the pricing is due for adding a window at the clubhouse. So once they open that, it gives them just a general overview and the information on what's required. And then it gives them a quick yes or no as if they have a cost or schedule impact associated with the scope. If they click yes, it's going to automatically notify, and when you reload Procore, you can see under cost schedule impact that Windows RS has responded yes. So going back to the subcontractor side, they can click on Submit Quote, and it gives them the screen to where they can enter in all the pricing information. So in this case, they're going to enter in $100 with no schedule impact. And then I'll show you an example of where they can insert their quote from their computer. Okay, so now that they're done, I'm going to go ahead and post the response on their behalf. And then I'm going to go back over to Chrome into my account and show you what this looks like on KWA's end. So now you can see that the current quote is $100. You can click on the PDF and it's going to bring up a copy of the quote that they included. So at this point you would wait for the rest of the subcontractors to enter in their pricing. In the case that you know what these cost and you maybe want to add the attachment later, you can do that, and you can go ahead and proceed to the change order process without having all of the information in under the request for quotes. So to move on to create your prime potential change order, you scroll down within the change events window, and then you go to create prime PCO. So all the information you previously entered is going to auto-populate into this window. You're going to leave it as pending in review. You don't need to attach any files at this point or put a schedule impact. At the bottom, it's going to give you a list of all of your rough order of magnitude pricing that you entered in. It's also going to give you each subcontractor's response, if they actually issued a quote or not. You can see here that Painting RS did not submit a quote, Framing did not, the Windows did. So I'm going to select the Windows RS proposal because I know that their pricing is good, and I want to go ahead with the change order based on my assumption that the rough carpentry and the painting pricing is correct by selecting to use my rough order of magnitudes. So at this point, I'm going to go to create potential change order. Okay, so this brings you back to the change event window. You can see now it's the current status of the prime PCO is the total of $2,008, and so you can watch the status and double check it here. So now you want to go up to your prime contract tab and then go to change orders, and you can see under your potential change orders that it's automatically now moved it from a change event to a potential change order, giving all the information. So you're going to want to edit this potential change order to finish adding in all the documentation. So everything is automatically populated, including the description and so forth. You can, in the description, you can add any additional information that you want for the description of the change. Under request received from, you want to add the owner, so that will send that directly to the owner, letting them know it's ready for review. In this case, we've created a fake owner account. We're going to say it has a schedule impact of 5 days, and then you can select a location. In this case, it's going to be at the clubhouse, and you can see at the bottom that it's automatically attached the quote from the subcontractor that was submitted as part of the RFQ process. So this can really streamline and help speed up the change order process. So now you want to hit save, which will bring us to the screen where you can go to your schedule of values to add in cost information. As you see, there's 3 here. There are 3 subcontractors listed, and it automatically enters in the schedule of values for you. If you want to add additional cost items at this point, you can hit edit and add them in, or if you want to leave it as is, it's going to subtotal, automatically add your financial markup 6%, and then give you your grand total. So if everything looks good on this screen, then the potential change order is good to go for the owner's review. So in this case, we're going to assume, or after we've spoken with the owner, and say if we're both sending a meeting and going through the potential change order log, he can log in and change the status to approved by editing that change order. So now that it's changed to approved, I'm going to hit the save button, and this brings you back to the potential change order main screen. So I'm going to go back to my change order log. You can see that the status of the potential change order is approved. So if this is going to be the only PCO or potential change order included on your prime contract change order, the document you actually give to the owner or send to the owner for signature, you can proceed to the PCCO stage by clicking on the Create PCCO button. So under Title, since it's only inclusive of adding the window at the clubhouse, I'm going to give it the same title. You want to set the status as pending in review. You want to give them a due date. You want to set the designated reviewer as the owner, and then you can also put in an additional description at this point. The schedule impact was 5 days, and then you want to make sure to link the PCO or PCOs that you want included rolled up in this change order. So at this point, if the owner is okay with you emailing the actual change order document to them, you can hit create an email, and it will email the actual change order document to them to print out and sign, or digitally sign and send back to you. In this case, we're going to assume that the owner wants it printed, so I'm going to hit the create button, and our PCO is at that point created. So you'd go up to the top right, click on the export as PDF to print this to a PDF, and you'll see that it gives all the information, the potential change orders included in this prime contract change order, and then it will give a breakdown of each PCO, including the cost for each scope item listed out, and then a grand total. We'll give the prime contract sum and all of the standard language that goes along with the change order, and then also puts in signature blocks that would be filled out if this was a real project. At this point, you can print this along with the backup if needed, and have your owner sign it. So that's how you get through the change order process using the change event tool and sending out RFQs to the subcontractors.